What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got multiple alerts going on for our country, and some of them you might not even know about. I'm going to start here with the first alert, which is pertaining to these wildfires, which is now affecting multiple states, multiple areas, and tens of millions of Americans. And it's literally toxic. It looks like Armageddon in some areas of the country. It's unbelievable. Take a look at some of this footage.
We know millions of you are watching tonight indoors and trying to escape this toxic air outside. In fact, 115 million Americans across 16 states tonight under hazardous air warnings and alerts. All of this from the Canadian wildfires. This system locked in place, bringing toxic smoke down into the U.S. like a conveyor belt. Tonight here in New York City, the mayor now urging everyone in the city to stay inside if you can. The images are just stunning, the before and after. This is the before, the EarthCam webcam at the top of the Empire State Building, looking toward Brooklyn just 3 days ago. And this is the view tonight. The city's air quality today, the index that measures this, the worst in the world now. Limited visibility affecting flights into New York. This plane landing at LaGuardia today. Ground stops for a time at all airports in the New York area, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. too. New York's famous landmarks, nearly invisible through the haze. Look at this tonight. You can barely see the Statue of Liberty there. The Chrysler Building with the orange sky behind it. Outside Grand Central Station, a man wearing a mask to protect against the toxic air. In fact, so many now wearing masks again. Yankee Stadium is empty tonight. Major League Baseball has postponed games in New York and Philadelphia. And look at the map tonight. Over the next 24 hours, the smoke will continue to drift slowly down through the Northeast, the I-95 corridor, for days. The deepest red's there, the most concerning. The red area is considered unhealthy. The darkest purple and maroon there on the map labeled hazardous. That's of the highest concern tonight. This evening, the White House pressed on this situation, calling this another alarming example of the climate crisis. Rob Marciano timing this out. When does the system locked in place finally shift? And ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off here from New York.
Tonight, New York City's skyline looking a lot like Mars. As that massive, ominous plume of wildfire smoke pours over the border, millions of Americans are feeling its effects. From New York City to Philadelphia and D.C. and as far south as North Carolina and Georgia. Officials now warning families to stay indoors even if they're healthy.
Everybody, I don't care if you're 15, 55, or 85, everybody should be avoiding outdoor activities.
The images are stunning. The sun shrouded as it rose above Manhattan this morning. At Tuesday's Yankees game, stadium lights illuminating the thick haze. Late today, officials postponing tonight's games in New York and Philadelphia. This time-lapse from EarthCam showing conditions growing even worse through the day, lower Manhattan blanketed in orange. New York City now registering the worst air quality of any major city in the world. The Air Quality Index, which is scaled from 1 to 500, with above 150 deemed unhealthy. This afternoon, New York City topped 400. By comparison, today Delhi, India was around 160, Shanghai, China was around 125. The hazardous air here extending upstate to cities like Syracuse. So many once again donning the same masks they'd worn through the pandemic.
This could kill us. This could literally kill us.
These are very, very fine bits of matter that can get inhaled very deep into your lung tissue.
New York's governor calling this an emergency crisis. New York City's mayor urging the entire city to stay indoors.
This is not the day to train for a marathon or to do an outside event with your children.
The effects of breathing in the smoke's toxic particulates continuously are comparable to smoking up to a half a pack of cigarettes or more. And emergency rooms worried about the cumulative impact from days of dangerous air are now preparing for potential patients.
The more exposure folks have, the more likely it is that they'll be sick.
The low visibility even delaying flights in and out of New York City area airports. At one point, the average flight to LaGuardia delayed nearly 2 hours. More than 6 million acres have already burned in what's shaping up to be Canada's worst fire season on record. The White House today pressed on the situation.
It is yet another alarming example of the ways in which the climate crisis is disturbing our lives and our communities.
And with hundreds of fires still burning out of control, that smoke will just keep coming. And David, we just heard from New York City's mayor just moments ago. He reiterated the importance of trying to stay indoors and said if you have to go out, it's a good idea to have a mask. And we mentioned that air quality index, the 1 to 500 scale. Well, the mayor revealed this afternoon New York City topped out at 484.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And me and my wife are actually supposed to go to New York City here in just a few days for an appointment my wife has had for months for a potential kidney surgery for her. It's not for her to have the kidney surgery yet. It's just her first appointment to meet the doctor. You can't make this stuff up. I don't even know yet. So it's if our flight's canceled, we could potentially drive it. But it's just unbelievable. Can't make this stuff up. I know. What are the odds of this? It literally looks like Armageddon in some of that footage. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, and just to explain that a little bit more, my wife has a kidney disease called medullary sponge kidney. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably know about that. And there is a surgery that we finally found out about that they could go in there with a laser and kind of clean it out. And there's basically about two doctors in the whole country that can potentially do this. And one of them is in New York City. Not that Ohio, where we are, is, I mean, if you've seen the map there, Ohio's going to potentially be like that. It's not like it yet, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be postponed. We'll see. If not, I'll be filming from New York City, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Also, some big breaking news here. Former President Donald Trump indicted on new federal charges. These are new and different charges. 7 new charges that are all felonies from what I'm seeing here. And a lot of people are saying, what is the difference between these are based on the classified documents that he took from the White House. And a lot of people are wondering, what is the difference between what former President Donald Trump had with his classified documents and what current President Biden had with his classified documents and former Vice President Mike Pence had? Here's a legal analyst to give you some insight on what possibly might be the difference. And also, if former President Donald Trump is elected as the next president, could he pardon himself? Take a listen here.
It's the historic nature of this, but also the claim that President or former President Donald Trump has made about current President Joe Biden and the documents that were found in his garage and the documents that have been found in other politicians' houses. Can you paint the differences that we've seen in some of those cases?
Right. Number one, only one individual involved had a subpoena issued to retrieve the documents. That was Donald Trump. There was no subpoena that was issued to Mike Pence. There was no subpoena that was issued to Joe Biden. The Pence investigation, that closed this week, according to our Laura Jarrett. As for the President Biden investigation, the special counsel continues to investigate the documents that he was in possession of. But this is the part where Donald Trump, we're talking about last summer, June 3rd, 2 years, a year and a half after he had left the White House, in which it took FBI search warrant to go in and find those more than 100 classified documents here. And exactly what was in those documents is still not clear. I think it's important to understand the New York Manhattan district attorney's charges that he faced 2 months ago. Those were state charges. These are federal charges, all felonies that he is facing here, 7 counts that we now know. He is the first major presidential candidate to be under criminal investigation in the heart of a presidential election here. And we're looking at more like probably next summer, next fall, into when this trial would actually begin. And if, in fact, he were to be found guilty, you're looking at potential prison terms. Of course, there's a lot that goes into play there. You're talking about if he were to be elected, he could potentially pardon himself. There could be, a situation in which there could be even a legal back and forth over one particular charge that he could be potentially facing, in which it suggests that somebody would have to forfeit their ability to run for federal office in in the future. Now, there's some discretion over exactly what the Constitution lays out versus what Congress has written into statute. But these are serious charges that he is going to be facing, Gotti. In this, when you talk to, legal experts, they say if Donald Trump had just complied with the subpoena of the Department of Justice and turned over these relevant documents, that he would not be facing these criminal charges here at this time.
Yeah, let me know your thoughts here down below in the comments, and I will keep you up to date. Another scene that kind of looks like Armageddon in almost a similar fashion here. Take a look. The volcano on the Big Island has come up with a massive eruption. Yeah, as you can see here, it's yeah, it almost looks the same, right? But not quite. But yeah, this is happening here on the Big Island of Hawaii, and there's some air quality alerts there as well, and pretty serious. It's literally God's work going on there in a different way, right? Yeah, you can see here, authorities raise alert levels as the volcano erupts in Hawaii. Yeah, look at that footage. Unbelievable, right? And they're saying that this is a big one. Wow, look at that. If you have watched Lord of the Rings, it kind of reminds me of Mount Mordor. Mount Mordor, yeah, Volcano Mordor, right? Yeah, pretty big there. The alert level for Kilauea was raised to red for warning. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on out there, but it seems pretty crazy. You can let me know your thoughts here. I'll keep you up to date here with everything happening here in our world on a daily basis. So if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, it's completely free to subscribe. And thank you so much for hitting the like button, and please share these videos with others. It helps our YouTube channel grow here also. And here's some videos you should watch next.